Hey weirdos, I'm Ash.
I'm Elena.
I'm Sam.
I'm Colby.
And this is Morbid.
Woo!
I always feel so weird when I look at the camera. I'm like, hello.
I know, I'm like, hey.
Hi. Thanks for having us on again.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming
Stoked to be
again.
back.
It's
Let's
been
go.
so long since we recorded that episode. If you're watching, it has been a very long time for you. So here we are. We can officially announce that we did a haunted investigation with Sam and Colby. Another one.
It was
Another one.
Another one. It was so fun.
Yeah,
We
and
did.
completely unlike anything we've ever done before on our channel too.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
You guys got a whole different experience.
I know that was
yeah.
such an honor when we actually sat down and you were like, okay, so this is what we're doing. And we've never done it before. I was like, okay.
Our first investigation with you guys, the USS Salem, was a very traditional thing, and a lot of crazy stuff happened.
Yes.
But this time it was like, very, very different. Like we were even kind of thrown off. Like we're like, whoa, we don't even know how to do this.
Brand new
really.
concept.
Yeah. So we went to the SK Pierce mansion, and basically your whole, like vibe for the night was testing psychics.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So how do you know these psychics? Like, tell us a little bit about the psychics, the whole shebang.
There were 3 of them.
Yeah, there are 3 of them. So our whole goal of this year of 2025 was to try to kind of push the bar with ghost hunting. We've done a lot of the same type of investigations. It was really fun. Like there's a lot of different stories. But we're like, what if there's just different ways to get answers? And especially in places like that have unsolved mysteries. You guys dive into that all the time.
yeah.
And there's ways to get answers on ghost equipment. But what if we could use psychics and mediums as our quote unquote ghost equipment, our tools to the other side? And so when we were brainstorming, we're like, that would be really cool to bring a psychic. Like, what would be even cooler? If we had 3 different psychics that use 3 different methods of communication, we see which one works best. And then also, what if all 3 of their answers line up? Wouldn't that collaboration make it so much more believable if we did get an answer? Which is kind of what happened. Wow.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely mind-blowing.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, we
be
wanted to basically run an experiment where we had each one of these individual psychics come in without the other ones around, and then so they weren't influenced by each other. And so what we did is this sounds really bad. We actually blindfolded all the psychics, and they had no idea where they were at all. And we had one producer on this trip that was helping us out with transporting them to and from the haunted location. But yeah, they had zero idea besides obviously the hotel that they were in. They kind of knew the area of the state that we were in, but that's about it. And then at the way end of the investigation, the end of the video, we had all of them come together for one final investigation to see if they were going to maybe contradict each other or fight for whose opinion was right or maybe all agree. We didn't know. So it was just a massive, seriously.
I was hoping for that, to be honest.
It's like, fight.
It was just a massive experiment. We were just really curious about it and thought it was a cool concept.
Yeah, it really is.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. And also, we're going to say this a million times during this, but go watch the video because
Yeah, you gotta watch the
you
video.
need to watch it on Sam and Colby's page. It is
Thank you.
crazy.
When we say it was unlike anything we've ever experienced before, because we were sitting at the Longhorn Steakhouse. Let's go plug.
Yeah.
And you guys were asking us what are your thoughts on mediums? Do you believe? Are you skeptical? I mostly believe.
Yeah.
And you were super pretty skeptical.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that believes most of them are probably lying.
Yeah.
And just trying to get money or whatever from it. But I think they exist, and I think there are some that are real, especially mediums. I'm more apt to believe. I think I don't know why. So I went into this totally. I was 3. I feel 3 we're gonna get
at least a
maybe
couple.
one that works. But
Yeah.
And
I was shocked.
We kind of believe the same thing. Both Sam and I kind of believe 85-90% of psychics are all fake, just doing it for the money. So yeah, we specifically chose the 3 psychics that you guys met for a reason. The first one was Patty Negri. She's actually been in the paranormal field for years, and she has experienced sensing ghosts specifically through her hands is what we researched, which is why when we were walking around, she had her hands out a lot.
Yeah.
She did, yeah.
Since childhood, and she's been on every single TV show you can even think of. So she's very, very credible. We were like, okay, we got to test her. She's been around. And then there was a guy named Mystic Dylan.
Mystic Dylan, 5 ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love
them all.
Mystic Dylan.
He was
Insane.
awesome.
he's been going so viral recently just because he does a special technique called claromancy, which is like throwing objects. He specifically uses animal bones and like other like totems, I think he's
Yeah.
what he called him.
Yeah.
And he's able to like throw these bones onto a table or onto the floor, and then depending on how they fall onto like this mat that he had, he's able to read what's going on in the room or what
Yeah.
happened in the past or the future.
I'm not gonna
Insane.
lie, when you told us that at dinner, I was like, I don't know how that's gonna work. Like, I'm not sure about that one,
I know, I went
actually.
into that one very
I'm like, as a
skeptical.
non-skeptic, I might be a little skeptical about that.
Yeah.
That one was by far the one I was just like, there is no way
Yes.
this works at all.
Yeah.
But I
That's
feel
how I
like
felt.
out of all of the different methods, that was the most mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which we'll get into, but that was like
Yeah, for
100%
sure.
Yeah.
crazy
That
accurate.
was nuts.
Nuts.
And then the last was our good friend. Her name is Pythian Priestess. Her name's Ashley.
Same.
But yeah, she's been like our not personal, but like she's helped us personally as like our spirit guide for the last like 2-3 years. And her expertise, at least what we found, is like tarot.
Definitely.
Oh my god, yeah.
And so we wanted to bring her last so that it was a familiar face to the channel and that she could help us solve this like mystery once and for all. And she did.
She was incredible with
And
the
she
tarot.
just jumped right into it. It was
Yeah.
like, okay, where are we going? Let's go. Boom. Like,
yeah.
It was wild.
And that
It
was
really
a little
was.
like interesting too, was because we told them absolutely nothing, and like they literally took off their blindfold as they were walking up to the SK Pierce mansion. It was kind of just like all right, we want to see what you guys get.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't tell them any information. You know, we just kind of like had them go find a room, find like the areas that they felt the most activity, and just like went for it.
Yep.
After they would get something, we would tell them a yes or no that kind of lines up with the research or not. But it was really interesting to see like from scratch, like literal nothing, like blindfold off, they're already feeling and sensing the things that lined up with the history of the
Yeah.
location. You guys have been to that location to Ghost Town before too.
Yeah.
We had gone with Sabrina Corinne and Payne Lindsay.
Yeah. And these psychics came from like all over. too.
Yeah.
They weren't like Massachusetts based. And even if they were, I didn't know about the
Yeah.
SK Pierce Mansion until Ash covered it on one of our episodes. I'd never heard of it, and I've lived here my entire life.
And I hadn't heard of it until I
So-
think I like Googled like most haunted places in
Yeah.
Massachusetts, and it popped up on a list.
It's not something you would just know. And
Yeah.
like it's not like the Lizzie Borden house that like
Right.
is pretty well known and like
or like the witch
story's
house
well
in
known.
Salem.
Yeah, like I felt like all of them were like, yeah, I don't know what this house is, and I was like, I fully believe that because
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known what this house
And
was.
even if you did, like we've gone to this mansion before, you guys have too, and to recall all the different nuances of the family history and everything would be impossible. Like we didn't even know. We had to like restudy for all
Yeah.
this. And so the fact that they were picking out things that were like so detailed
Yeah.
and it lined up perfectly. It was just really mind blowing.
Yeah, it was
Like,
nuts.
Also for like the skeptics out there, like, yeah, you could say like they knew what hotel we were staying at, so they can go on their Google Maps and like search up haunted places and
Yeah.
make like an educated guess and like study or whatever. But then how did the methods that they were doing line up with everything in the story?
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Because the tools, like Patty's like the queen of like dowsing rods, you guys were saying.
Yeah.
And like her tools were making sense with Dylan, his bones, like there was no way he could have thrown them into a perfect alignment for what had happened there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because even we could see the story
Mm-hmm.
that they were showing. That was the thing that I loved the most. That like he wasn't making up like what these symbols meant. Like
No.
they made sense for what they
Yeah.
meant, and then they would fall in a way that I was like, oh yeah, that does say that. Like
Yeah.
you could confirm it yourself. Like he
Yeah.
couldn't have faked that.
And then
I mean-
with tarot, even like with Ashley, the things that were popping up, I know a little bit of tarot, so I was like, oh yeah, like that does make
Yeah.
sense. And we saw her like shuffling the cards every time, like she was not picking them.
No.
You know,
Right. Yeah. Crazy.
It was pretty
Yeah.
insane. So yeah, like the whole premise of the video was, hey, this place is really haunted. So we obviously want like, just ghost hunt in general, but our main goal was to figure out this unsolved murder. Now there was this bone that was found in the basement of the SK Pierce Mansion house, and they think that it was from a 16-year-old girl. It was like a pelvic bone, but they have no idea who that person was and the killer. Now, the people that have been investigating for a long time have their thoughts on who they think it could have been, but nothing has ever been confirmed. And so we're like, okay, what better to do than get all the psychics to figure out their answer? And if all those things line up, that is really insane because we were not telling all the information that we got from the previous psychic to the next psychic.
Right.
They were independently like finding these answers, and we were the ones that were like, you know, corroborating with all that stuff.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad because it kind of felt like, I don't know if you guys got the same vibe, but it kind of felt like each psychic would come in and then we were just like, go!
Yeah,
we were just
Do
like,
it! Go!
Tell me
they
about
did.
it.
That's the thing. Like when you say it, like you feel bad, but they just got right to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Because like Patty walked in and we were just like, where do you want to go? And she was just like, she just like led us somewhere.
On the spot, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she got hit with like a wave when she first walked in. She literally did like this.
Yeah, she did like,
Yeah.
What was funny about Patty's investigation was I feel like almost immediately everything started pointing to you, Elena.
yeah.
It was like, okay, get called out
Yeah.
right off the bat. And
And
what-
I was like, great.
And it was
glad to be
saying
here.
like Patty kept hearing like Wanda or like something like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
is it like want her? Like I want her? Like what is happening? And I kind of think it was actually.
Well, I think
Yeah.
one of the main things that we like understood about that was they found some sort of correlation with how you looked versus the supposed like wife, first wife of SK. And when later on, like we didn't even know this at the time, like later on we went and talked to the caretaker and she was like, oh yeah, the first wife of SK had red hair.
Yeah.
And we're like, what?
And he was
Yeah.
like, and she like specifically brought that up. She was like, he likes your hair. Like,
Yeah.
I like kept saying that. So
Yeah.
when the caretakers confirmed it, I was like, whoa.
And we didn't tell the caretakers
No.
anything. We were just like, oh hey, like what color hair did SK's
we
first
said, what
wife
did she
had?
look like? Do you or we said, do you have pictures? And she was like, oh, we don't have pictures, but like we
she
know
was a
that she had
redhead.
red hair. And we're like, oh.
And what's crazy about that too is like SK remarried pretty shortly after like his first wife Susan passed away, to a much younger wife, like 30 years younger.
Yeah, he was
named
getting it.
Ellen. And so yeah, it's rumored that SK like did that for potentially the wrong reasons, and that's why he might have been drawn to you as a redhead
Yeah.
because you like reminded him of his first wife. It's crazy.
It's so creepy.
He likes the younger gals.
Yeah.
And you're just a couple hundred years younger.
Just a couple hundred
so,
years.
you know. It worked
I mean,
out.
you seem to be targeted like almost the entire
night.
night.
Yeah, you really
Honestly,
were.
I thought it was when Patty did it, I was like, okay, like this is funny. And
Yeah.
then afterwards I was like, that's not gonna happen again. Like I thought that was just a Patty thing and maybe that would just be the end of it. I was like, the other ones aren't gonna confirm that. And then it just kept
Each one of them
happening, and
did.
I was like is this real? Like what is going on?
Even to the point of like at the end of the night, like when we were like sitting in the basement, you got touched, right?
Yeah. So this was with Ashley.
Yes.
Yep.
In the basement, and we were sitting in a circle, and she was doing the tarot, and I had my jacket on, like my leather jacket, and I was just like paying attention to what she was doing, and it felt suddenly like someone like grabbed my shoulder.
And
it
you were
was
you were kind of
very
explaining
strong.
that it wasn't just a tap or a pull; it was a
A
grab.
a firm grab.
And I've never, ever, ever felt anything like that. Like
Yeah.
I haven't been poked. I haven't had any of that stuff happen.
When you had such a visceral reaction, like
Yeah.
you jumped and you were, like went into like fight mode.
Oh God!
Immediately, I'm ready to punch it.
Yeah.
Because it was not like a brush or anything like that. You could be like, oh, maybe like my hair or something brushed against. It was like full on, like something did this to my shoulder, like a
Well,
claw.
and in that moment, Ashley so casually was like, well, it's because you look like her.
Yeah.
And she was saying,
Yeah.
like, you look like
Nonchalant.
the girl who we believe was killed in the house or near
Yeah.
the house.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
damn.
And she said it so casual. She was like, oh, yeah, well, like, you look like her.
Yeah, that was scary.
And
when
once
she
again,
turned
we
and said
didn't
that.
tell Ashley what
No.
we had found previously, so she was just coming up with that on her own accord.
Yeah. And it was so spooky when she
Yeah.
just turned and looked at me and was like, because you look like her. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
What?
It was wild. And I think Dylan had already said something to that effect, too.
he was like, I knew she had red hair. I said that. Like,
Yeah.
he was like, I was going to say that earlier. So, yeah, it came to him too.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, just so we can go chronologically, like more of the things that Patty had said while we were there.
Well, we initially got that we were talking to SK, so I think that's where we first got.
You felt like we weren't, though.
So that's the thing. When we got down to the basement and we kind of started to learn like more about the family dynamic and that kind of thing, I feel like whoever we were talking to, like whoever was, like doing the dowsing rods with Patty, I think they were pretending to be SK. Because it felt a little, the more it kept pointing at you, like it felt creepier. And SK didn't seem to have like a super like nefarious spirit. Like he seemed pretty chill.
Yeah.
And it didn't really sound like he was involved in the murder or anything like that. So I was like, could it have been like Frank because he liked how you looked?
Ew.
And then like
I hate that a
you know,
lot
do you know
more
what I mean though?
than I would have rather SK.
I just feel
So-
like SK wouldn't have been as creepy.
Yeah.
So for a little backstory, like the Pierce family, like SK was the guy that built the house. He had 2 different wives, and he built the house for the first wife, but she died immediately, and they moved in. And so he had one older son with the first wife, and then 2
Frank,
more
right.
sons. And so the 3 sons were most likely the 3 suspects of the person that would like have killed somebody in the house, because the family lineage still owned the SK mansion while this murder occurred.
Yep.
And yeah, so there apparently was a female that was not in the family that was found in the basement, buried under like a kiln or a furnace or something like that. So basically, we're like the whole gist of it was which family member and why would they kill this random person, and what's the relation to the family.
Yeah, and they were stepbrothers too, like you were saying. Like the first wife had just the oldest son, but then he
Yep.
remarried, and it was the other 2.
Yep.
And so there was already kind of some conflict when Ellen died. Everybody had to figure out who gets the mansion.
Yeah.
And so obviously Frank, being the oldest son, is just like, it
Obviously
should be
me.
Should be me. But Stuart and Edward's the youngest, also were fighting over it. But Edward ended up being the one who got it. And not to make things more confusing, but after after like he like acquired it, I guess like in the early 1900s, like 1902 specifically, it turned into like a boarding home to where now not just its family history is there, but now there's a bunch of random people just using this
Yeah.
house.
Debauchery.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
debauchery.
from random things,
Yeah.
like gambling,
Honestly.
whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the things.
All
Yeah.
the things.
Yeah.
So I think what's so interesting is how complex that lineage is and everything like that, like how many family members are a part of it versus not, versus how many wives, all these different things. It just makes it so much more impressive how accurate all these readings were
Yeah.
from the psychics. Like, yeah, talking about SK and all that stuff is really, really interesting. But then one other aspect, which I think we were getting at, is it said that like 17 spirits are
Yeah.
haunting this house.
Yeah.
But a lot of people believe that there is some sort of non-human spirit in the basement, which could be, like you said, maybe tricking people and
Yeah.
like saying I am SK and stuff like that,
Right.
which obviously just throws a wrench in everything.
Yeah. Well, and then Patty was saying too, like there's what was she calling him? Like
creeper.
A creeper. She
Yeah.
was saying there's a creeper and like he keeps like poking his head out and then like but he's following us, but he doesn't
Yeah.
want us to know. So that threw me for a loop too. I
Maybe
was
the
like, I don't
creeper
know. I
was
just my like
Frank.
intuition is saying like it wasn't SK that was victimizing you. Damn. You know?
Which is crazy because if it was the murderer who was like victimizing, that's so like
That's even
messed
scarier.
up.
Yeah.
Because he told us, he was just like if it was him, he was just like, it's somebody in the family, but I can't tell you who.
Right.
Yeah.
Which would make sense because he wouldn't want to rat himself
Because he's
out.
not going to say he
Exactly.
did it.
And it's
Yeah,
like
you're right.
maybe SK like he probably knows in the afterlife, but he wasn't alive whenever this happened. So
Yeah, correct.
you know,
Exactly.
Yeah,
it is
so he's really
interesting.
not-
Which means,
Yeah.
do you think the creeper that Patty saw was this negative entity instead of the murderer? It was just like a negative.
Well, I think she was saying that he was a human spirit and he was just like lingering around to see if we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, I think she was saying it was one of the stepbrothers.
Interesting.
Oh.
But
So
I
do you
don't
feel
know.
like it was Frank, like trying to see if we were gonna figure it out?
Could have been.
Yeah.
Or it was Frank was the one answering and the creeper was like Edward or Stuart.
Yeah.
I hope it was Stuart.
Yeah, Stuart doesn't
Stuart
get
was
talked
so
about.
handsome.
No, I think that was Edward.
No, that was Stuart, she said.
Oh, I thought she said Edward.
Yeah, she said that was Stuart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the little picture that we
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah.
was
I
I
all
was like, oh my god, look at this man.
Yeah.
sharp.
Whoever that was adorable.
He was.
Oh, what was I just?
So I
gonna
could
say?
see him just peeking around. Being
Exactly.
like, you gonna figure it out?
Yeah, being like, "Hey, my brother was such an asshole.
Yeah.
Figure it out."
Sorry,
you
you're
know.
still being a creep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was really, really cool to see what pieces of the puzzle we were able to find out through all different psychics.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing we figured out with Patty was this idea of protecting the secret.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I think became a huge core like storyline throughout the entire thing is like they would not give up this secret because they were afraid of their image.
Yeah, image came up so much.
Patty kept saying that specific word. Yeah.
And it went through the rest of the psychics too. They kept saying the image.
Yeah.
They're
thing.
like, okay, we have this like really like high-end family and we're the kings of the town. We have this big business. We want to seem like we have everything figured out. And if we had this like turmoil with our family and like some of our like, you know, sons are bad apples, that's bad.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yes, like I'll give you enough that it was in the family, but I don't want to talk about who it was or how it went down because I didn't want to sacrifice this like, you know, image they had.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so true.
Which is really, really interesting.
And then what's wild too, like kind of like a side note from like that sort of plot. So we went upstairs and you guys had been to the Pierce Mansion before, and in a specific room there was something traumatic happen where Patty was like, "There's definitely a portal in here."
Yeah, and we had already been told there's a portal in there.
Yeah.
So that's on the third floor.
Yeah,
right?
it's on the third floor.
In
And
the
it was
back.
the game room.
Yep, the billiards room.
And it's where they used to like, you know, debauch. in
yeah, the
there.
guys would have like part. I thought it was
Gambling.
interesting. Exactly. Dylan kept bringing up gambling.
Yeah, and that used to
Yeah.
happen in there.
And
It's
that
like
was-
a billiard room, game room.
Yeah, a big thing in there.
Yeah, and there's like a big walk-in closet in that room, and there's like stories that like really bad things used to happen in that closet, especially with like women that they would bring into the house.
Yeah, because women weren't allowed in the room unless they were brought into the room.
Yeah.
So that tells you everything
They
you need
weren't
to know.
there by their own consent.
Right.
And when we went the last time, we walked into that room and immediately were like, "Ugh,"
All
like,
of us felt off.
this is off. And then we went in I think
I didn't go in the
you didn't go
closet.
in. I went in. I think Payne went in.
I think Sabrina might
And I
have
think
gone
Sabrina went in, and all of us were like, this feels yucky in here. I was like, I don't want to be in here at all. Like,
One
I
of you
immediately
guys
got
felt
off.
like suffocated. Like you
Yeah.
felt like short of breath.
Yeah, we were all feeling really gross about it. And I think later we came back to it, and it was still like something was off. I think we had like something was happening with our light. Remember the camera was like
Oh yeah.
making
Oh.
something happen.
Yeah, it was something like Payne was looking and there was like a white like
Grid of light.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, it was very strange, and it was only happening in certain places. And so when we came in here with Patty, immediately her saying like, "There's a portal in here," we were like, "Yeah," and then she starts saying like, "There's good energy and bad, or like it feels good but it feels bad at the same
Yeah.
time," which like makes so much sense
Because there was so much
Because there's-
celebration and stuff
there's
in
so many
there.
men having so many pleasurable experiences in there, but there's a lot of women who are having terrible experiences in there. So it's
yeah.
like when she said that, I was like, that's literally what happened in
it's a
this room.
balance.
It
Yeah.
was like every bit 50-50.
And I think all three of them said something about cigars. And I think
Yes.
SK was like big on cigars because they're throughout the house. But
Yep.
specifically, they were smoked in that room.
Yeah,
So that
and
was
all
interesting.
three of the psychics said like, I smell cigar smoker, I feel cigar business.
I feel cigar vibes.
cigar
Cigar
vibes.
vibes.
Yeah. I remember specifically too, like Patty, maybe it wasn't on the third floor, could be wrong, but like the second floor, she kept being like, it's like hard to
Yes.
like breathe and like I just want to like speak, but it sounds like I'm being like silenced or whatever. It feels
Yeah.
like I'm being silenced. And so I wonder if that was like her like feeling the women who wanted to speak up back in the day.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because it seems like it was a theme in that house that especially women were silenced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like
Definitely.
we got with Patty, like controlled.
Yes.
Yeah.
We went up to the third floor. We
Yeah.
went into the quote unquote servants room, and she got a lot about like, oh, I feel like people were silenced, people were controlled in this room. Like,
Yeah.
they were doing things against their will.
Yep. That
She
was
even
super
brought up
creepy.
like possible like drugged or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that kind of feeling.
Yeah, she said like feeling like I'm in an altered state, but like
Yeah.
it wasn't my decision, I think she said.
Yep.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
really creepy.
That was terrifying.
And that was where because that's supposedly where like the 16-year-old girl was staying, and I think another girl, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think there was two maids, right?
Yeah.
That lived
Yeah.
in that room.
And
And I
Susan and
think-
Sarah. I
Yeah.
believe. And Susan was the 16-year-old girl who was also like a prime suspect or victim.
Yeah,
I
she
Yeah.
should
thought
say,
she might be the
of-
pelvic bone.
Yeah, the pelvic bone
Yeah.
girl.
And when we were in there with Patty and she was using the dowsing rods, they like flicked over to you really fast.
yeah.
That was the weirdest experience, like one of the weirdest experiences I've had because I think when we walked in there, she was talking about like feeling pressure in her head. And as she was saying it, I felt it. But I was like, maybe this is like a placebo effect. Like, I think I'm just feeling pressure.
Yeah.
And then she was trying to talk to whoever was in there. And we felt like it was like a young person. And I love kids. And I think the last time we were on the USS Salem, like I got followed by a
Yeah, you
ghost.
did.
I was like, I don't know. Like, I'll just say something in my head. I was like, like, you're safe here with us. And the dowsing rods flicked to me in that moment. And she said, what'd she say? Like, she just grabbed onto you, or like she just jumped over to you.
Yeah.
And it was like, they flicked at me right as I thought that in my head, and she said it.
Yeah.
And then she was trying to get more information. And I said something else in my head, and she said, like, she grabbed on tighter, or like something like that.
Yeah,
Which
it
I
happened
didn't.
multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you're like, you're gonna be all right, and I think the second time was like, I got you.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
after you said I got you, it, like, flicked over and was like, oh, they're over with you now. Again.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
It was weird
Yeah.
because I didn't like feel anything on my body or anything like that, but having the confirmation of the dowsing rods like flick at me, that was
Yeah, because how
Weird.
could she have known that?
Yeah.
No,
Said it
that's-
in your head.
exactly.
My
Right
favorite
at that
part of
time.
the whole Patty investigation was the Ma chant. You know,
Oh
The
my
mod
God.
chant was, I felt bad because I was like, I'm taking it seriously, but
Yeah.
it just sounded so silly that I'm cracking up on camera.
I think that's like kind of the point. It's
Yeah.
like you're putting so much energy that it is kind of like lighthearted.
Yeah, you're like
and funny.
releasing all the.
Basically, we were screaming for like 2 minutes. We're like, "Rah!"
Whoever was downstairs was probably like, what the
They
fuck?
said it. They were like, "We heard you guys screaming up there." We're like, yeah.
It was insane. I've never done anything like that. But
That
it was
was
cool. It definitely brought up the energy for sure.
Yeah.
It
And
did.
she said
funny.
that it will like bring more spirits out. And it definitely felt like it did. Because in the beginning, it felt like we were kind of only talking to SK maybe. And then the like girl in that room. But then when like the rest of the psychics came in, we definitely got more, I felt like.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Because we heard some like weird noises, like shuffling noises
Yeah.
happening. We were trying to follow it, but we couldn't find where it was happening.
Which, yeah, full disclosure, like there was a guide downstairs. And then,
For the first half.
Yeah, for the first half. Then she left like during Mystic Dylan.
Yep.
But also our producer was bringing the psychics there and back. So like we were a little confused at beginning if like it was that person or not, the guide. But after Dylan left, the noises, I
Yeah,
feel like
they
they didn't
kept
stop.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Particularly when we were in the fire room, I think. They were like
Yes.
really going. And you had texted your producer and you were like, was that you?
Uh-huh.
And some of it was, but not all of it, you said, right?
Yeah, he just said like, "Oh, the owners were just leaving. Like, it should be quiet now."
Yeah, but
that
we
was,
heard
like-
more.
Yes, there was
Yeah.
more like right after that.
For a long
Yeah.
period of time because every single time we tried to start talking. it was
Yeah.
like, boom.
It was every time Dylan would try to speak that all of
Yeah.
a sudden it would sound like craziness was happening.
Let's
And I was
talk
like,
about Dylan. This
Yeah, we
was
gotta move to Dylan.
Insane.
First of all, the second he walked in, you and
Oh.
I think, like shared a telekinesis.
We were both like,
moment.
I love him.
Yeah.
like as soon as he walked in, I was,
I was like, new
yeah,
best friend unlocked.
love him a lot.
Yeah, his look and his demeanor was awesome.
Oh, he's
Yep.
so charming. I
Yeah.
love him.
Yup.
So apparently he had studied like a specific version of clairvoyancy and like mediumship in Egypt.
In New
for-
Orleans too.
And in New Orleans,
Yeah.
voodoo and all that stuff.
Santeria, right?
Yeah, it was really interesting. It's something we had never even heard of before.
Yeah.
Much less like, what are we gonna if we're gonna believe it or not. And to be quite honest, I was highly skeptical just
Me
as we were
too.
talking about this.
Right.
When we first like talked about this with our like creative team, like, is this even a good idea? Like I don't know if it's genuinely possible at all for this to work. But they assured us that like the reason why Mystic Dylan is blowing up is because his readings are so incredibly accurate. We're like, all right, well, let's give it a try.
Let's do
the
it.
whole point of this video is to test the psychic.
Yeah.
So like, why not? Let's see it. And so we immediately go upstairs to the wife's room, the second wife's room, Ellen, and they called it the red room because all of the wallpaper was red. And he was like, let's immediately do a session right here on her bed. And that, I think, was the highlight of
Oh,
my
yeah.
night, for sure.
I agree.
The first time he tossed
I had-
everything, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Why
No
does this
expectation
make
at
sense?
all. Like, what's going to happen? He basically got all these bones and totems in a conch
shell,
shell.
Yeah,
right?
shell.
I don't know. And then threw them onto the bed, onto this map. And within this one toss, he basically explained everything to a T about the story of the S.K. Pierce Mansion.
Yeah.
The pelvis bone which he had a pelvic bone, first of all, was nuts.
Like an animal pelvic bone.
An animal one, yeah. And it went right into the center. So it was like the center of our story.
Yeah.
I was like, I just remember like slowly backing up and just being like, no, like this can't be real.
And
Yeah.
he even had like a totem that had like, playing card symbols on
Uh-huh.
it that were like the gambling things. He had like
Yes.
a bunch of like little penis totems.
Yeah.
A lot of
He was
And
like,
he got
something
me,
about
like-
this murder has
Yeah.
to do with sex or
Yeah.
something like
Yup.
that.
Which we were
affair
like,
or anything
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
And then there was even like a frog on its back, and he said like the frog represented fertility, but because it was on its back, it was
Female, like, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, something to do
Female
with
fertility.
the fertility stuff.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of the entire night because I was just watching like all of our faces and like I'm like hidden in a hoodie.
Yeah.
Like I look over at you two and you're both just like backing away,
Like,
like
what
mind
the
blown.
hell?
And like Dylan has no idea like
Yeah.
that we're
He's just
freaking
going.
out so much. He's just like, yeah, no, because again, like it's not like he's just like pulling this out of nowhere. Like he's reading what he threw out.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he's just like, well, this looks like this, and we're just all
We're like-
reacting like.
He was like,
Trying not
okay,
to confirm.
there's a lot of this is like a family house with like a lot of spirits that are in the family here, but there was a murder of someone outside the family you see over here, and it seems like there was the dice says 2. There's 2 wives. And
Yeah.
one was much younger than the other one.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Like, what?
what's going on right now? I can't believe this.
Like the dice? Like, how do you throw a 2?
yeah,
Yeah.
And then be like, yeah, there's 2 wives.
That
yeah,
was
like
nuts.
2 eyes.
Yeah.
Like the
he said
there's, like,
one was more
children
like
ghosts.
a matronly energy, like older.
Yes.
He's
And one
like,
was
and then
like-
the other one's like more energetic and more like, and he's like youthful,
And
maybe
then he
like,
was like-
age. And we were like, oh,
It's like, and then like off to the corner over here, it says like there's one thing about this house that is like a message that isn't uncovered yet. And we're like,
yeah. He was like, he's like a mystery, and we were like, that's exactly what we're doing.
like,
Yes.
what is happening?
Like, oh my
At this
God.
point, we had not told him anything, and so
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, on your very first throw, you just get all the history right. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
cool.
Well,
Oh,
let's
all
figure
right.
this out.
Let's see what happens.
And he's like
So
smelling of
crazy.
like smoke, and he's like, huh,
yeah.
I don't know what is that smell, perfume and smoke or whatever. And Colby like, oh, let's go with this other room. Let's just I don't know, do another reading.
Yeah,
and
just see.
immediately his like first throw was on like the same map, but he put out some cards with symbols, and like this promise ring was
Yeah.
landed right on a fire. And what's crazy is in that specific room, out of all of the different things and deaths that happened, that was the only room that someone died because of a fire.
Yep.
He did not know this. We didn't tell him that anything. And it literally had a symbol of a guy who died that was not part of the family.
Yeah, he was
From
totally
a fire.
outside the
And it was
symbol.
like, whoa, wait, what am I looking at right now?
Yeah.
Like, how is this possible?
Yeah. Which, yeah, to your point, like, it's kind of hard to describe this mat, but there was basically like a circle and then like
Yeah.
a bunch of little symbols on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, so when he threw all the bones, like most of them, like basically 95% of them went into like the center
Yup.
of the circle, but then only the ones you were talking about, like this totem pole sort of looking
Yeah.
symbol thing, and then like a skeleton, then like a promise ring, and then like a card that had fire on it.
Yeah.
Like, which was basically just saying like, hey, it's not part of this story that you guys are looking to find out, but somebody
Literally
else
on the
died.
outside.
And then we realized that in the time that it was a boarding house, that there was a guy named Eno Sari who was a mechanic, and he one night came home super drunk, was smoking a cigarette, and lit himself on fire, and actually died of smoke inhalation. So he also suffocated, which makes sense why Patty was like, I feel like
Yeah.
I can't breathe. And then
Yeah.
Dylan was also like, I smell smoke up here.
And we all
crazy.
smelled smoke too,
Oh.
which was wild.
When we walked into that room, it was like a bonfire smell, like shot up my nose.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
insane.
And you have a deviated septum,
Yeah,
too.
and I
You
can't
can't smell shit.
Yeah. So that was wild.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And it was funny too because he was like, you could almost see he was like because it was so clear, and he was like, I'm not necessarily saying like somebody died by fire, but
Like it looks like somebody died
and
from
we
fire.
were like, no, like someone died by fire.
did.
You're like, yeah, we were trying so hard not to be like, you got it. But also
just
like,
like,
oh, keep going.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, and then we went downstairs, and that was when he threw. I forget like what we were asking. We were just trying to get like a little deeper into it, and that was when one of the bones went on the floor.
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, something wants us to go in the basement."
And he was like, I'm not going in
And
the basement.
we hadn't said like anything to him about like, well, they found a pelvic bone in the basement, and like that is ultimately where we're gonna end up tonight. And he was like, I'm not going down there. Like, I do not want to go down there.
Yeah.
But something wanted us to.
Yeah.
And like, not to like confuse people, but going back in the video, Patty also in that same room was like, I don't know what it is, but there's something like with the fireplace.
Yes.
So even though it wasn't in that specific room, the pelvic bone was found, the 16-year-old girl, in the furnace downstairs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so her and Dylan's findings like actually matched
lined
up.
up.
Right there.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Crazy.
It was
And she
wild.
said, she was like, that's, I think, like, well, where you're going to find your next clue.
Yeah.
And we did.
Which we did find it in there.
It was wild how they all like synced up. It
Yeah.
was like we needed multiple parts of the story to really understand like who this person was and who the killer was. And it was like little pieces from each investigation all coincided and told the whole story together.
Yeah, it really did.
But
yeah.
then so many things overlapped.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Wild.
it was crazy.
It really was. I'm trying to think if there was anything else like huge that Dylan said. There was just so many things that were like spot on with him.
Yeah.
One thing that I thought was really interesting was the time that he wasn't doing his clairvoyancy. He was just walking around at the front, and we didn't know this at the time, but like he pointed out a little piece of the history that like apparently it was like more recent, and he kept looking over the pianos, and he's like, there's a guy that really likes to
Oh,
play
yeah.
the piano. And he really likes sitting there and just like watching over people and stuff. But yeah, just a slightly older man. And then like later on throughout the night, we went and asked the caretaker, and she gave us a sheet of paper. And right there's a guy named James that they were seeing recently that plays the piano and watches over people. And it's
Yo.
like, what?
And
Like,
he just did that casually.
Yeah, and
like
that
he
was-
was just walking around.
And that was
Yeah.
like such a random detail of the story,
Yeah.
you know? Like,
It didn't
was
have anything to
crazy.
do with the story, really. It was just
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, here's another ghost.
Right,
It was
yeah.
just feeling that off in the distance. It was like, how do you, like, that's so specific. And, and like, wow, how do we know that that's even part of it? At first, we were like, we haven't heard of anything like that.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, we go and do a little more research. Boom. It
Well,
made
right
sense.
there.
What, and I do want to like, what was interesting about that is like at that point the caretaker had left.
Yep.
Like when we were upstairs, and so we actually found that just from like an information packet that was on
Yeah.
like, the kitchen table. Sam and I did a lot of research on this place and had no idea there was like a James character.
Yeah.
That was this piano player until we were just like, we're taking a little break. Like read through this packet. A James who loves to play piano.
Like,
It's
there he is.
What?
like, boom, he had said it.
It was crazy.
It was funny too, because at first I was like, well, that doesn't really have anything to do with anything. And then I
Yeah.
was like, oh shit, it does.
Like, oh,
Not our specific story, but the story of the ghost series.
still a
for
story.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So crazy.
yeah, and that's when we had Ashley come in.
Yep.
Yep.
And we took her poor
Straight to
thing
the basement.
immediately to the basement. She was so down for anything,
I
though.
know.
She walked in, like, you guys introduced us. You kind of told her, like, what we were doing. And you were like, so we're going to the basement. And she was like, all right, like,
Let's
where
go.
is it? Let's go.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
And she just started right away. Like, just
She
right
went
away.
into it, yeah. We, like, went through all the rooms down there. We get down, and immediately in the room where there's the furnace, she goes, don't like that room. Like, immediately.
She
Yeah.
knew.
Yeah, like she looked at the corner exactly where the girl supposedly was like buried, and she's like, "I don't like that corner." It's
Yeah.
like, how?
do you
The
do that?
entire base. It's like 7 rooms
It's
downstairs.
a huge basement.
Yeah.
And she points exactly to it. It's like, no, right there.
like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
How do you know
what is
that?
going on?
She also opened a door at one point and just went, nope. And then closed it. I was like, what's in there?
I know. Well, did you?
That was
look
like
at
a
that?
closet.
She
I
didn't
think.
tell us.
Closet,
We just
yeah.
moved on. Yeah.
We were like,
she's like,
okay.
I was like, you know what? We don't need to know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Move on.
When she says no to a door, you're like, all right, I'll
It means
respect
no.
it.
Yeah.
It's fine. We don't
Yeah.
get to
With
mess
it.
with it. But then she's like, okay, well, my main thing is like rituals. So you guys want to start off with like a ritual? And I was like, that's cool. Let's do it.
Yeah, we were like,
she
let's
pulls
go.
out this mat, and she's like, don't look at the mat.
Oh my god.
And then all you want to do is look at the fucking mat.
I could not stop staring at that. I kept looking at it and being like, stop looking at it. I was
Yeah.
so scared that I was going to like go into a trance.
I
or
love it though.
something.
She was like, don't look at it.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
like, don't look at it too long.
Like, if you look at these symbols, you're gonna fall into a trance.
know, I was
and
so
we're
scared.
like, okay.
It was a
Like,
giant like circular. It kind of, yeah, it almost looked like it was like a big like pentagram thing, but it
Yeah.
was just like a giant like black circle with like one big symbol
like,
on
yeah, like
it.
moon kind of
Moons.
thing.
Yeah, a bunch of like moon banana looking things.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And before she laid it out, she looked at me and Elena and she's like, what are your signs? No, we like told her.
I was
and
so
she
scared. I was like, Capricorn.
She goes, okay, you'll be fine. And I was like, what?
yeah, it's like, would I not be fine? Is
Yeah.
somebody else
Yeah, I
like-
think she said like if you were water signs, it would probably. And you were like,
And I was like,
have
I'm a
water
Pisces
like,
moon.
I have a water moon. Is that all right?
yeah.
She's like, that's cool.
But
Yeah.
you're chilling.
Like, oh my god.
But yeah, we had never done that sort of, I guess you can call it like exercise or ritual
Yeah.
with her before. So that was new to us, by the way. I don't
Oh,
know
good.
if we explained
All
that.
right.
But yeah, she basically had us all stand into the mat and then plug one nostril.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
breathe in
9
slowly,
times or something.
9 times. And then after we did that, like obviously we were like woozy
feel like
a little
woozy,
bit.
yeah.
It gets you into like a state for
Yeah.
sure.
And then she just said, now just start, like close your eyes and start saying like what comes to mind.
And that worked really well for you, Ash.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it worked so well that I was like doubting myself though. What happened? At one point I got a pain in my side, in my right side, and I was like, I have a pain. And she goes, what side? I said, right. She goes, me too. I was like, okay. And then I saw the name Kathleen flash in my head, but I just said I saw the letter K because I was like, I don't want to sound like an idiot if it's like not Kathleen.
Yeah.
So I was like, I saw a K, and she was like, okay. You guys saw stuff too. You saw fingernails.
Yeah, and I think like full transparency. I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, it might have just been like the weird little like things when you close your eyes and you can kind of see shapes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you like close your eyes and you just kind of sit there for a second. I was like, I don't know, kind of looks like
No,
fingernails.
but it could be something.
But I don't know.
She might have been like dragged down there.
Because after that, I was like, I don't see anything.
yeah, but you guys saw some stuff too. Like,
Yeah, because I was filming, I was like not doing the whole thing as much, so I don't even think I saw anything at all, but you did.
I remember you said like, I see like fire.
yeah.
Is what, and then I saw a tear on a cheek.
Yeah,
I
you
remember
did.
that, but I can't remember what else I saw, to be honest. It was only like a minute that we were throwing.
It was
Yeah.
rapid fire, literally.
Yeah, so I don't know.
She
Yeah.
asked me how I was with meditation before we did that, and I was like, I have no experience.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so stressed.
I took a witchy class recently, and we would do like a couple meditations every class. So I weirdly got good at it. So I do feel like I tapped in for
You
sure.
did, yeah. You were like,
That is
coming
the
out with
purpose
stuff.
of it. It's like she wanted us to become in a trance,
Yeah.
and like have that intuitiveness.
Yeah.
and that's how a lot of these investigative methods like occur. Is like we're supposed to be in a trance. You're supposed to be open to the spirits to communicate through you.
Right.
Because otherwise
so-
you will second guess.
Yeah,
Like I
exactly.
was second guessing myself.
And if
be
you're
like,
open
It's
to
hard
things,
not to though.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing like we're talking about too a lot. It's like kids versus adults. Like if you're like, I don't know, I'm doubting myself all the time versus kids are more open to things. And so
Yeah.
like when you put yourself in a trance, you are like a little more open and susceptible to influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you feel something, you really can actually like understand it and go with that gut feeling as opposed to like turning it off.
Yeah.
And being like, nah, we gotta face reality.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Which was really interesting because what did this K have to do with this?
Yeah, so then we moved back into the furnace room, and she's Ashley started doing tarot, and we were really trying to determine a name. And we had a name at first that we thought it was
Well, she said she got a gut feeling that was Catherine.
Catherine. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So we asked the tarot, and the tarot said no. And then I was like, okay, like I'll put myself on the line here. Was it Kathleen? And she goes, yes. And I was like, that was like a crazy
Yeah.
moment. 'Cause I was
Yeah.
like, oh wow, I should have said that back there.
Because that was the original thing that you saw, not a K, a Kathleen.
I saw Kathleen like flash in my head, but it's also my grandma's name, and we've been taking care of her. So I was like, maybe I'm like influenced somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So you were second guessing.
But I was
so
second
easy
guessing.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was like, yes, it is.
And
Like,
so we confirmed that the girl who was like possibly murdered and thrown down there was Kathleen,
Kathleen,
which is really
which was
interesting.
different than Susan, who we thought
Yes.
it
Yeah.
potentially could have been upstairs. But yeah, to kind of like paint a picture for like the people like listening, we didn't know that you could just do yes or no.
Yeah, I
Tarot
didn't know
pulls.
that.
Tarot. But yeah, she still used the entire deck,
Mm-hmm.
and then with intention, we would just ask the question. Any of us could have asked the question.
Mm-hmm.
And she like put down a bunch of cards and still was able to like flip a certain one that was like yes or no.
Yeah.
And so it
Yeah.
was like direct.
That was
answers.
crazy.
what was it? It was like she said the major arcana was the yes
the
or
yes or
no.
no's.
Oh,
And then when
okay,
we
yeah.
wanted to get more specific, she put like the full deck in. And she had this cool thing where like she lays out the cards and then she tops them on one another and then she flips them, which
Yeah.
I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah, and there was one point where like I noticed she went to grab one and it like stayed and she grabbed it. She literally said, "Don't block me," and then grabbed it and I was like, "You tell them."
Yeah.
I was like, "Good for
crazy.
you."
She's
Like, she was
firm.
like, "Yeah."
She's awesome with
She's like,
that.
"Damn."
She's like, no, I'm not going to take
I
any
loved
bullshit.
that. I was
Like, you
like,
got
yes.
this.
Yeah.
And that right there in that circle is where you got touched.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where I got to. And I almost second guessed myself of like, am I just being freaked out? But it was so strong.
When you jumped.
And I made like a visceral movement
Yeah.
with it that I was like, I need to say what just happened.
And
right
Ashley
now.
said, she was like, what just happened?
yeah,
Like, she
could
caught
see
it.
Yeah. It was
knew.
crazy.
And then we all like set more intentions. We were like, you cannot touch us. I got so weirdly protective of you in that moment.
Yeah.
I was like, don't touch her.
And actually, in the other room when we were doing the meditation, she said something about brownish red hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like
did.
she had already, and I clocked it because I was like, damn,
Like,
that's the
goddamn.
third one that has said that.
So all three
Yeah.
psychics called out the red hair.
Yeah,
resemblance.
all of them did because I made sure to like remember that.
Yeah.
Because then when she brought it up again, when I said I got touched, and she was like, "Well, because you look like her." I was like, "Oh, you did already say that."
I'll never
in
be
the
over
other-
the way she was like, yeah, well, like, you look like her.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh,
As
shit.
so
Damn.
casual, like as if
Yes.
she just knew. It's
Yeah.
like, what?
She's
Yeah.
talking about the victim, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means, just so it's not confusing, S.K. Pierce's first wife had red hair, and this 16-year-old girl had red hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
that's
what I
why
wanted to say.
thinking that it's not SK upstairs with Patty, like you're saying, and it's
Yeah.
actually the guy who did it.
That's
Makes
why
sense.
I thought that. Exactly. Once we got to that. So
Because
then we,
that would mean we're getting into mommy issues here. His mom had red hair and his mistress did.
well, that makes sense because to kill, you
Yeah.
usually have mommy issues.
Oh, dang. So did you just give away who the murderer was, too, if you guys remember? Yeah, I mean, that's what we
I mean, we're
asked.
about to be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we thought, some of us thought it was Edward, right?
I thought it was Edward.
You thought it was Edward. I initially felt
Who's the
Frank.
youngest?
You felt Frank.
And the
Yeah.
reason why we got that is because Patty originally had confirmed that it was part of the family, but it wasn't SK. And we knew it was a girl that was murdered, and we got from Dylan that it was a lover or a mistress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there
So
was
we were
a
like,
dark
okay,
romance.
so if there was a murderer, it had to be a guy, and it had to be a part of the family that lived at the house. So there's only really three suspects
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're at down to like those two.
So we asked if it was Edward, it was a no. We asked if it was Frank, and it was a yes. And that's actually interesting because that goes back to something Patty said when she was saying, like, she wasn't sure if it was one of the brothers. She felt like it was like a distant family member. But I almost wonder if she got that feeling because like SK built the mansion for his wife, but then she passed away and like barely lived there. And then he married Ellen and had 2 kids. So that was kind of like a new family. And Frank was on the outskirts of that. So I do wonder if that's why Patty got that feeling.
The stepbrothers.
He
Yeah.
felt outcasted.
Yeah.
And he also didn't get any like partaking in like the
estate.
mansion and the
Right.
estate. So it's like, okay, he's also outcasted there.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Damn.
Then we started diving deep into like, okay, well then who was Frank as a person?
Yes.
And this is when we stopped the yes or no questions and actually started getting details, and every single one was like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
literally.
He's bad.
It was like
He's
the
a
lovers in
serial
reverse.
cheater.
Yep.
He's a cheater. He had like, just a bad past. He got into trouble a lot, which is really, really interesting because at the beginning, Patty was saying that she believes that whoever did it, whoever had killed this girl, had a past.
Like
Yeah.
a checkered
of
past.
Maybe killing again, but definitely a troubled past where
Yeah.
they had, dabbled and maybe got in trouble with the law, those types of things. So again, another overlap of,
Yeah.
of the multiple psychics.
And that he had like chances to be a better person along the way, but he chose not to.
Yeah.
Like, that
Yeah.
was interesting.
And then we got kind of into the motive for killing. And we actually, I think we asked Kathleen, did whoever this was know you were pregnant? And she said no, they didn't. And that basically we found out that it seemed like she was just going to make their relationship public.
She was going to expose it to the wife.
She was going to expose it to the wife, and that's when they came up with this plan to murder her.
And going back to Dylan, he threw the frog on its back,
Yes.
Yeah.
which is fertility like symbol.
Yes.
Yup.
It all makes sense.
All of it does.
And
it was
he
nuts.
kept saying like there's a dark romance here.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
some kind of dark romance. Like I don't
So with Patty, we understood like who the killer was. It had to be part of the family, and that there was some sort of like darker entity there. And then with Dylan, we understood like the nuance of the killing. Like it was a mistress who like got found out by the wife, and then with Ashley, we found out the name,
Yeah.
and then like how it all went down. So
Yeah.
it was like all the different pieces of the puzzle with 3 different psychics. It was
Yeah.
really interesting.
And they never met each other. We
No.
have to say that.
That's
To that point,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like that it was wild.
So then
we ended it on
reuniting
the
them.
Estes method in the basement with all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one I'm so interested to watch back.
I'm so interested too because we were blindfolded and
didn't
had
get
headphones on.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, Colby and Ash did had the actual headphones on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So they
whole
didn't get to
SS
hear
method
each
is
other.
about sensory deprivation. So not only were they blindfolded, they also couldn't hear anything, and all they were hearing was the static of a spirit box go through and possibly some words through the radio. And so you didn't understand our whole conversation, but me and Elena and the three psychics were asking questions, and it was a full-on conversation that you guys were collaborating on. It wasn't like you were telling a different story than Colby.
That's
Yeah.
It was
crazy.
like it was like Colby would say something, and then Ash would follow up, and everything would make sense together.
It was
Yeah.
shocking.
The only thing I ever heard was just you guys going, oh! Like I couldn't hear
Constantly, like,
Colby. I couldn't
what?
hear like the questions you were asking. I just heard like, I was like,
When we
oh
would
damn, like
yell
they're
in
freaking
shock.
out.
Because at one point you said stop, and then Colby said recording.
That's so
And we were like,
crazy.
oh, and then I think
Yeah.
at one point you said stop, and he said now.
I got
Yeah.
so many stops
And then,
at
like,
the end
bye and
specifically.
everything.
Yeah, and then bye. It was just saying bye.
You said something about like
Time.
time, and then you said like eternal
No,
or something.
that was the weirdest one because it was the same idea that you both were just piggybacking off of each other back and forth. It was like
It's like
it was
time,
forever,
always, eternal,
always.
forever.
And you just kept going back and
Yeah.
different words for forever. It was forever, always, eternal, never ending. And you each one of you would do one, and I was like, oh, how is this happening?
How did you feel during that when that was all happening?
I felt like I was kind of in a little bit of a trance. Like
I
my
felt
head
that
was
way
down
too.
a little bit, and yeah, just kind of like a dream state.
Yeah,
in a
it
way.
felt like I felt weirdly almost like I was spinning, but I wasn't dizzy, if that makes sense.
Right, yeah, almost like a drowsy kind of. I'm not here right now.
Yeah, it was
feeling.
heady for sure. It was weird.
And at one point, one of you said you're mine, and then the other one said repeated it or said something similar to it.
Damn.
And we kept trying to get what that was. We were like, who
insane.
is?
It happened
what's
so
going on?
fast that I don't remember the words that
Yeah.
came up. But
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a lot.
especially when you don't know what they were answering.
Yeah.
But what was really interesting about the whole thing was when we were talking to at the first half, it was keep my secret, those
Yep.
types of things. I don't want this stuff out. The main gist of our conversation was now we figured it out. What's going to happen? It was just no, don't do this. Get out. It was really again, protecting the image.
The image, yeah.
Image, always protecting the image.
That was
What
a
was
running
interesting is 3/4 of the way through, it kind of changed energies. It was almost
Yeah.
like something else came in, and the psychics were like,
I
this
don't
is a
know
little
about this one.
darker.
Yeah.
And that's when you were like, you're
that.
mine. It was like,
Yeah.
oh God, okay.
Like,
well,
oh,
are
God.
you messing with
Oh
this?
God.
that's
Oh,
messed
no.
up.
So we think we made contact with not only the Pierce family, but also whatever is said to be this non-human entity in the
Yeah.
basement,
Yeah.
which is really interesting. The psychics were actually freaked out about
They
this.
were,
like,
and
we-
all their things were going crazy. They were doing a pendulum and they were doing
Yeah.
all kinds
they
of
were
things.
doing a bunch of tools.
Yeah,
That's great. I'm so excited to see it.
I know. I can't wait to see that.
I can't wait to watch.
I
that
told
one.
Drew that when I got home too. I was like, I can't wait to show this to you.
I know because I was like, you didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I know.
It was funny because all the psychics obviously are very, very into all this. They live and breathe the paranormal just as much or more than we do, and all of them were like, we have never seen an SS method
Yeah,
like this.
Damn.
they all said it. They were the fact that they were intelligently kind of piggybacking off of each other is not something that happens.
They were walking away in awe.
Yeah,
and at the
wow. They were
end,
shocked.
I think it was 4 or more times you guys said stop, and they were the ones that were like, guys, we
they were
should,
telling us
stop.
we should
and they're
stop,
like,
and
what?
we're
You guys are the psychics.
We're like, one more question.
Damn.
Please.
No, I remember toward the end, I was getting a little freaked out because it just kept saying stop, and I
Yeah,
was
you
like,
said it a few times.
and with the voice that was coming through was like, stop,
Ugh.
scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
like
getting
it.
more intense every time. So I was about to tap out when whoever tapped me, and I jumped out of my skin when
Yeah.
whoever tapped me.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
No, it's all good. But it was, that was crazy.
It was
It
a
was
wild
funny.
one.
Yeah. The spirits definitely did not want us to talk about this secret, but I don't know if I don't know who exactly
Yeah.
was saying don't tell the secret. But what
Yeah.
they were okay with is they were like, okay, if you think that Kathleen, this spirit that might be still there that had pretty rough ending to her life, wanted to leave this place, you guys could help her escape.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we decided, let's end the night. Let's cleanse everybody in there, and then we'll have Ashley, who's like practiced in like getting rid of spirits and letting them move on, like do some sort of like ritual, like a cleansing ritual to let the spirit go, which I think was pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool. Yeah. She did a giant banishing ritual. It was probably like 4 a.m. at this
Yeah,
point.
at
4:30
least.
Yeah, we
maybe.
left at like 3:45, I think.
Yeah.
Like our producers took like everybody else like back home. You guys drove, which is great.
Yeah.
But like, this was insane.
This is funny.
So fucking funny.
And we don't even know this.
Yeah,
part.
we have no idea anything.
Yeah.
Ashley told us that it was against like her code and her like order, I guess you could say, for us to like include like the audio, because it was so like crazy of this banishing ritual of what she was saying.
Okay.
But she let us film it. And basically Sam was filming and I was tasked with holding like another sort of shell thing with a bunch of like, I don't even know what it was, like an herb in there. And then
Was it the
offerings
pine
and
needles?
stuff. Yeah, pine
That she gave you?
needles, and also something else.
yeah, I don't know. It was like a whatever. It was like
Yeah.
a big herb or whatever that would help banish. Kathleen, I guess, or like save her. And
Banish is a crazy word.
Get out of here, Kathleen.
Get out, Kathleen.
No, I help her. Yeah.
But then there was like a little rock like in the middle of it that she was like, and then at the end, you're just going to stick, I had like a flame and like kind of like a punk or whatever. And she was like, you're going to stick that into the rock and it's going to like make a little boom.
Oh my
then
God, I would be freaking out.
That's how we ended.
She just described it as like a pop. She's like, don't worry, it's not gonna be not crazy, but just it's gonna be a little pop.
Like a little pop. And so I was like, okay, like sounds good. I'm just going to light this herb and then pop it at the end. And so we're there for like probably 5 minutes and she's doing like reading from a book and like.
Which was very intense, by the
Yeah.
way.
Oh,
I
like
bet.
screaming into the furnace, and it
Oh my
was like
God.
really intense.
Even when she blessed us, I was terrified.
Yeah.
She like blessed us so that nothing would follow us home, and even that was scary. And I got holy water in my eye.
Oh, man.
I was so thankful for it.
I was
though,
so
because I didn't
thankful
feel
for
like
it.
anything
Thank you.
followed me.
your eye is protected.
I know we're good over here.
But yeah, without giving away like what she said or whatever, for her sake, basically it was my turn to light this thing on fire.
Oh no.
And I was trying to do it and I couldn't get it to work. I had like the punk and I was like, and she was like, come on, Colby.
Come on, we're doing a ritual here.
Damn it, come on. And she was like, like whoever we were talking to, like doesn't want you to do it. I'm going to do it. So I was like, okay. She grabs it from me. And then obviously first try, she does it. This thing did not.
It's not a pop, dude.
Is
This
it like
was
an
a firework.
explosion? Oh my god!
This was like it like went up in flames for like 5 seconds.
I knew you were prepared. It was like Colby is gonna freak out with this.
She was gonna make me
Damn.
do that.
Picture a flare, like a road
Damn.
flare. Like that's how
Damn.
intense it was.
And you're like,
Yeah,
We are in
And,
a
like,
house.
I know we got this on camera. We're still debating if we want to even like include this in like the main channel video or not. So this could be something that's just exclusive for you guys. We don't know.
Oh my God, I'm dying to see this.
I cannot wait.
I know the camera was pointing at me because Sam was filming. Smoke just went everywhere. And I look up and I'm like, because
The smoke detectors were right
Yes.
there. Even when she had the incense going, I was like
so
looking
nervous
at them.
about that.
and so you guys can imagine what happened next.
They went off.
God.
Every alarm in the entire house started beep,
That
and
was
it was like
my
fire.
fear.
It was blaring loud through all 3 levels of the house.
Did like the caretakers come?
Nobody came. Like the fire department didn't show up. Like
was
nobody
fine.
came.
How'd
Like,
you
we
turn
were-
them off? They just turned off on their own?
We ran upstairs and there was like a panel that said fire control or something like
Okay.
that. And so
Oh
we were
my
trying to click
God.
reset, but it wouldn't work.
Stop.
And so we went and we just ran around the basement. We found a fan and turned it on, and then like was just fanning the fire.
Oh my
Fanning
god.
the smoke.
The smoke.
And yeah,
my
it
God.
eventually like after like probably 5-10 minutes.
It was at least 10 minutes.
That must have been so overwhelming too, because they're
Okay.
so loud.
That was my fear with the incense.
Same.
Because I was looking up and I'm like, if those go off, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
be
just 'cause I'm gonna be so
overstimulating.
overstimulated.
It was
and I'm going to be
bad.
like, get me out of this space.
It was
Yeah.
so loud.
I've never seen, and Ashley, if you're listening, sorry about this. It's just so funny. Like I've never seen like Ashley so like scared. Like, she like,
yeah.
looked at me and she was like, what do we do?
Yeah.
And I was just
She like sprinted upstairs.
we're like, okay, we're just don't panic, like sort of a thing, because it was kind of like a, what do we do?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
these won't shut off. We thought the fire department was gonna
Oh my God.
come.
Can you imagine? So did you
Okay.
finish? Did you get to finish the ritual?
It was done like that.
Oh, that was
last
the
that
end,
was
yeah.
the end of
So
the
you
ritual.
finished with a bang.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How was Kathleen? She was like, I'm out of here.
That was a big deal.
She's like, I'm out of here and you guys should too.
Yeah.
Fire alarm.
Get out.
Get out.
I was like, oh God.
That's so funny.
And that was it. Like we did our own
Holy
cleansing
shit.
afterwards and left the house. That was
Nice.
That is bonkers. I'm dying to see that.
it. Yeah, it's
I know.
so
It's
fun.
just like if 4 a.m. and 3 people are running around frantically like, what are we doing? It's so loud in here.
That's so funny.
Because especially being in the basement, that would have sent me into
Yeah. Oh,
orbit.
yeah.
Like
I probably would have like climbed out the barred windows.
Yeah, literally.
like figured a way out.
I was so on edge in that basement. Like
Yeah.
that basement did not feel good.
It's creepy.
No,
and
it's
especially
got
after
bad
being
vibes.
touched in that basement, if those alarms went off, I think I would have died.
Yeah.
I would have just went into cardiac
It was
arrest.
like 4:30 a.m. You guys saw the street. It was kind of like a
Yeah.
semi-busier street
yeah.
in the small town, and so we were like afraid that everybody around
Yeah.
there could like hear.
Yeah.
It was loud.
Oh
So
my
funny,
God.
Damn.
We're
Then
good.
we
They
got
turned out.
cleansed
Yeah.
as well and dipped out of there. So hopefully Kathleen is good.
I know. I hope so. I'm interested to see like if the caretakers like experience anything
Yeah.
like that
different.
makes it feel
after.
like different. That makes it feel like she's
Yeah.
Still
moved
there.
on.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because Ashley's cleansing felt like it worked. Because
I
I didn't
think so.
feel like I was followed. I thought I was going to come in the house because it was 5 a.m. at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
And it was like pitch black in my house and it's like dead quiet. And I'm like, now I have to walk upstairs in like the pitch black. And like, I'm scared. I
It's
wasn't even
so-
freaked out. It was weird.
No, I was just gonna say
Yeah.
it's so funny because usually when we get home from things,
Yeah.
I like stay up a little bit longer and kind of like
Decompress.
and like I'm freaked out usually and like on edge. I was not at all.
No.
In
Yeah.
fact, you slept for 12 hours.
Yeah, I literally slept.
You knock.
I got home at 5:15. I ate some spaghetti. I went upstairs and I slept until 4 p.m. Drew was like, "Are you dead?" I was like, "No, sorry."
It's just the ghost.
I
Yes.
chugged some water and then got woken up an hour later by my youngest.
Oh,
Yeah.
my, I could not imagine.
Like, damn.
But you went back for a little
I
bit.
did. John was like, go to sleep.
Yeah.
How did that like change the way that you guys think about psychics?
I'm still a firm believer.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there we go.
I think I still feel the same way where it's like most of them
Yeah.
are, I think, not right, but I think we got a
We got
crop
3
of real
goodies.
ones. Like I was like,
Yeah.
wow, how did we manage to grab 3 that like, because they made so much sense. All their stories.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel put on at all.
Definitely.
Like when every single one after we left them or they left us, I was like, holy shit. Like that person was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when we left Ashley at the end, I was like, Ashley's
Damn.
like the coolest girl I've ever
Yeah,
met. I was
she's
like, she's
awesome.
such a badass.
100%.
Like
Just,
you
like,
could
opening
feel
her
it
book.
off of her. I was like, damn.
Yeah, she's like opening her book and like reading in other languages, and then the blessing. She's just like saying all these. I was
Yeah.
like, "You're the coolest person ever."
Yeah, I was so
she's
impressed by
awesome.
her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And she's like accurate 100%
Yeah.
of the time. Like all the tarots that we've done in previous videos with her all come true.
I know. I want her to like
Crazy.
come do a tarot.
I know.
reading
I'm
with
like,
us.
Ashley, come back.
Yeah,
You should.
All of them,
Yeah.
though. We were like, all of them. I loved them.
yeah. They were all
Yeah.
great in their own ways. Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
We were talking about this on the way over, but in terms of psychics, would you guys, if you knew, like, let's say, like, all these psychics are real, would you want to know your future?
I'd want to know some good things, but I wouldn't want to know like when I'm gonna die or anything like that.
What do you think your question would be if you got, like, one question about your life from, like, these psychics?
Because I don't think I would want to know my
Anything?
future. No.
Nothing?
Wow.
I just want to.
You just
Yeah.
want to live.
I think it's
float
playing
through.
God a little bit. I'm
Yeah.
Christian, so I'm like,
I get that.
I just don't want to, like, I just want to kind of take it as it comes. So I don't. I think if I know, I'm going to be crazy. Like, I'm going to be, like, trying to prepare for it or trying to make something happen. But, yeah, I don't think I would want. I think I would just. I'm trying to think of what the question would be.
I know
that
one
would want
question
to
is
know.
like this is like 2 truths and a lie again.
Exactly.
I'm like, hold on.
Well, I mean, if you don't want to know maybe certain things, maybe asking, like, what's one thing I could change about my future
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
that, like,
That would
I
probably be
need
a
to
good
prepare
question.
for or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Or, like,
something
what's
about,
the
like-
happiest, like, what's a happy thing that's going to happen in the future? Just, like, I want to know
just
This
this
is
that.
one good thing.
One good thing later in life I
Yeah.
can look forward to or something.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, that would be nice to know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of real psychics and mediums, like, it seems to be, like, a thing among them. Like, the more accurate they are.
They'll tell you all of
if I'm going to tell you anything, I'm going to tell you the good and the bad. Like you can't pick.
Yeah.
Like my husband's family, like they like one of his like great aunts was like a well-known psychic and like helped in police investigations and stuff in Massachusetts.
So cool. And she was the way she was born.
Yeah, there's this like old wives' tale or like some lore with psychics that if you're born with like a veil of like almost
ectoplasm
like goo on your face, like you're born like veiled almost. Like there's
like goop in your face.
That means you are like you have the gift. And she was born that way. And she would only tell you everything. So she would say, like, I won't tell you.
Like, you can't cherry pick.
I won't tell you anything if you're not willing to hear everything.
And
so,
it's good that she'd tell people that up front, though, before they, like, sat down and got into it. And she's like, well, and you're going to die in 3 days.
So his grandmother was like, I don't want to know anything. Like, I don't want to hear that.
Interesting.
But, like, some people wanted to hear things, and the things came true.
It's kind of like a mental fuck.
Yeah. That's
like,
the
I
thing.
just don't want to know. Like, I'd rather just live my life.
That's the thing. I just want to.
It's going to happen anyway, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So might as well not, like, worry about it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's hard to choose if you would want to know or not.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
feel like if
would.
you had to know everything versus nothing, definitely know nothing.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I cherry pick a question, like, that would be interesting.
I agree. Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
Yeah. If I could cherry pick, I would do that question. Like, what's one really great thing that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Does Ashley, she tells you the good and the bad, or?
Yeah.
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 We've got some tarot readings that are good and bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going, like, too personally in
Sure.
this, but when I met you guys, I had cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had cancer. And so, like, obviously I'm not, like, expecting you guys to remember this, but my face was really swollen. I was, like, dealing with, like, a lot of, like, acne skin issues, and I never, like, dealt with that in my entire life. And so something was wrong. Like, my body was reacting, and I had no idea what was going on. And the month that I got diagnosed, which was in January of 2023, or was it December? No, January. January 2023, Ashley came over for the first time, did a tarot card reading, and was just like, this looks really bad. Like, you're about to go through, like, one of the scariest moments of your life.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
I knew that you had gone through that, but I didn't realize it was, like, when we met you. That's crazy.
God.
She said that
2
before.
weeks before. Said that was going to
2
happen.
weeks before.
Yeah.
Holy
and
shit.
the next 6 months was, like, a horrible, like,
Yeah, of course.
scary experience. But, yeah, for both of us.
What was wild is she called it for 6 months. She said it'll be about the next half a year.
Wow.
Until you're better, and you were
Cancer-free.
cancer-free halfway through 2023.
Yeah, like June.
Wow.
June
That
like,
is
announced in July,
incredible.
but, like, May, June-ish, I was
Holy
cancer-free.
shit.
And so, yeah, that's why, personally, I'm like, I'd rather not know. You
Yeah,
know what
I was
mean?
Yeah, because how did you
Like-
feel hearing that
Yeah.
before realizing you were sick?
Sorry, Ashley, I didn't know if I believed it.
I
was
get-
just
no,
like,
I
oh,
get
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I like, I was like, okay, whatever, that could be like cool for like the YouTube video or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like my life started unfolding literally 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this, or at least like she is real. And like ever since then, I was like, okay, I'll do tarot card readings and stuff for videos and like to talk about like ghost hunting and stuff like that.
But not for personal stuff.
No,
I get
don't
that.
like doing it personal.
I don't
anymore.
blame
That's
you.
a lot to take in. And
Yeah.
especially when it
Scary.
comes true, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to know
You're
that.
like, I'll
Exactly.
just cross that bridge when I
Yeah.
get
Like,
there.
I'm good on that.
How do you
Yeah.
feel, Sam? Are you like doing tarot only for videos, or will you do it personally too?
I've never gotten any psychic reading or anything like that outside of the video thing, but I'm
Okay.
okay with doing it in videos. I mean, when we did our series for our school where we stayed a whole week at our school, we actually had Ashley come out and read tarot about the school and our process of opening that for ghost investigations. And what was crazy is everything, the good and the bad, was correct as well with that. And even down to weird things like business licenses and things like
Yeah.
that. She was
Really?
like discussing like how that process is going to work, and it played out exactly how she
Damn.
expected it. And I was like, what? Like, how do
how?
you know these
Yeah.
things? It's really, really wild.
Yeah.
She was saying like specifically, like, she was like, there's a principal entity here, which we had already known and like investigated and stuff like that. And told us exactly like, yeah, he's not evil. He's not a bad guy, but he's very strict and cares a lot about like his school. And so when you guys take over, you guys are going to have some like issues with like licensing like the city around it. And we did.
Yeah.
Like on the back end, everything is great now. But she predicted that. And we didn't even know that was going to happen until like 2 months later.
Yeah, how would
That's
you
crazy.
ever know?
Crazy.
And one thing that you'll see too that we didn't even mention was we had, in the beginning of the S.K. Pierce investigation, we had asked for a word.
Oh, we didn't even touch on that.
Yeah.
And Ashley, especially, the word was rib.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
we just did like a random word generator too.
Yeah.
It's not even like it was planned beforehand. And we asked her specifically, is there like a word that the spirits are telling you? And she just asked for how many letters.
Yeah.
And it was 3 letters, obviously. And how many 3-letter words are there in the
Yeah,
English
a
language?
bajillion.
A billion. And she immediately starts doing the tarot cards, and she throws one down and says R. And I was
Yeah.
like, what are the odds of that?
Yeah.
And then
she
in the
said
middle,
I.
she was saying I.
Yeah.
And I think we were all like, I was like, is she about to say rib right now?
Yeah.
I would have lost
R.I.
my shit.
And I think she was like unsure of the last one, but I was like, I feel like you know it.
I think
like,
she
I feel like
did.
you know it, but something's trying to like scramble you or something.
Like rig or something like that. But
Yeah.
not rib. And I
What
was
are
like,
the
how?
odds?
How?
That she
Yeah.
got R and I
Yeah.
out of
It's
all.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that blew my mind.
Even just the R would have blown my mind. When she went to
Literally.
the I, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, even Patty, though, when she walked in, she grabbed her stomach and she
She
started talking
did.
about her belly.
I was waiting
And I was
for
like,
I
you're about to
know.
say rib.
I
Like,
was like looking at you guys like,
As
we're like,
soon as she like got that, I was like, "What?
Yes.
What part of your body?" Because she was like,
specifically.
"Right, I don't know, like right here." I was like, "Damn,
That's-
what is
yeah,
that?"
I
It's
was
like
like-
really crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that blew my mind.
we're still also just full disclosure, like debating whether we are going to put that in our channel or not. So that could be an exclusive.
Ooh.
But yeah, it is really, really cool
Yeah.
just for people to know that like we did that experiment.
Yeah, it was like a personal extra test because
Yeah.
like obviously the main goal was understanding the unsolved mystery, but it was really cool to like have this like isolated test with the
Yup.
spirits that
Just
had
to
nothing
see.
to do with the house at all. What they could pick up, and that Ashley
wild.
thing, like I don't know, when she was like R.I., I was literally shaking.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh God, what is happening?
please.
What is
we're
happening?
like, B,
yeah.
B.
So close.
Yeah.
It was
It's crazy.
really amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
incredible. But you need to see it all
Mm-hmm.
because this does not even do it slightly justice.
No, there's plenty of things that
Yeah.
are just on the video
You
that
can
we
hear the
haven't touched on.
sounds. You can see the bone throwing. Like that's
See
a
our
whole
facial
experience.
reactions, telling
Yeah.
us
Facial
stuff, like, oh my
reactions.
God,
Colby like just going into his
freaking out.
It was insane.
Yeah.
It was wild. And then
Nuts.
seeing the Estes method at the end is going to be so much fun to
I
see.
know.
You
Yeah,
have to
I'm
see that
excited.
for
See the
yourself.
full conversation.
Yeah, I'm excited to actually see it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely
so
check
cool.
it out on Sam and Colby's channel.
Yes, thank you.
It'll be out right now as
Yeah.
this is out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
simultaneous release,
Yeah.
Same day.
brothers.
Yeah, same day. So go check it out.
Thanks for joining our experiment. That was so,
Thanks for having us.
so
So
awesome.
much fun.
So fun.
It was
Again,
awesome.
unlike anything we've ever done on the channel before,
It's
you
so
guys
fun.
got to experience it. Sick.
We're always down to ghost hunt.
Oh yeah.
Let's do it
Anytime.
more often.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let us know if you want a part 2.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening.
And we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you keep
It
weird. But not so weird that you don't go check out their video. Peace.
Hey!